My first big upcycle project turned out to be the biggest nightmare, but from the start. When I moved into my new apartment, I had to make a lot of big purchases, so I decided to upcycle my grandma's old full wood wardrobe to save a bit of money. And the wardrobe wasn't in the best condition anymore. The paint was chipped off and there were cracks everywhere, so this was the plan. Get rid of as much of the old paint as possible, fill all the cracks, paint the wardrobe, gold leaf some details to give it more character, add new hardware. Part 1 and 2 actually went reasonably well, given that I've never done this before. The problem came with the paint. Not only did my indecisiveness cost me 3 days to pick a color, but when I finally decided on what I thought would be a nice warm beige for the wardrobe, let's say it didn't look the way I expected. It just was this really odd looking concealer color that just didn't look like the reference photos, and I honestly hate it. So back to the drawing board, I threw the idea of beige out of the window and decided on an olive green instead. This time I even went to a shop to look at the color swatches, so for the next 2 days we were painting non-stop. And when it all dried, I honestly didn't like it either. I've picked a chalk paint which, as the name suggests, dried with a chalky finish and looked super crusty. And on top of that, the color also turned out a bit patchy, so I wasn't super happy. At that point, I felt so defeated. But in my initial order, I also got a top coat, so I hoped that that would save the project. I applied that, it dried matte, and made things actually look even worse. It just looked so dry and also darkened the green, which I didn't like so much. So my last shot was to order a glossy top coat, which arrived a few days later, which at that point was my 5th layer of paint to this wardrobe, but it actually started to make things look a lot better. I was still not thrilled with the end result, but at that point I was just so over it, and I still had the gold leafing and hardware to do. So if you want to see that, then check out my part 2 where you can also see the finished result.